con el culo en las dos manos. Basically a Spanish saying which means with the ass on both hands. With their ass on both heads. Basically, it means, for my non-Spanish speaking fans and viewers out there, it means basically, they're grabbing their ass with both hands. Like, they're overwhelmed, basically, running around, frazzled, dazzled, razzled, don't know what the fuck to do. That's how I would best describe the Rochester, New York Police Department. Basically, obviously, they can't keep up this senseless violence. And, it's just sad. It's really, really sad. And it all boils down to one thing, just lack of respect for human lives. That's all. And, a lot of them, you'll hear them talk in a minute here when I roll this video, that a lot of it is centered around the youth committing crime. And, it's sad. It's just, it obviously starts at the home, but it's just a total, outright lack of respect for human life. And here's the thing. If these young people or whoever, young, old, doesn't matter, if they don't respect their own lives, can you expect them to respect another human being's life? And it's just really, really sad. But another Spanish saying that my Boricua fans, friends, viewers would say is "Esto está Cabron," which basically means this is fucked up. You know what I mean? It's just Rochester, New York is completely out of control. It's so bad that as Rochester, New York Police Chief Cynthia Harriet was holding this press conference, which, by the way, the mayor, Rochester, New York Mayor Lovely Warren, is always noticeably absent from these. Have you noticed that? But anyways, it's so bad that they had to cut this press conference short because there was a shooting on Rochester, New York's east side at the same time that they were holding this press conference. By the way, you got to love how Rochester, New York Police Chief Cynthia Harriet says, "We've had a bit of a weekend," to describe one of the most violent weekends in Rochester, New York history. I mean, an 11-year-old boy was shot while watching TV in his living room, 11 years old. And the best Cynthia Harriet can come up with is, "We've had a bit of a weekend." What? Rochester, New York has become a fucking joke. A fucking joke. And of course, Black Lives Matter, nowhere to be found, seen, or heard. They only get involved when it's a cop killing the black folks, not when black folks shoot, kill each other, and, innocent kids get shot while watching TV in their living room. So you already know what to say. Roll the video. Dale.
Rochester police are promising a stepped-up effort now to address violence among young people in Rochester. This after a violent weekend in the city that involved several people under 20 years old and, of course, included the 11-year-old victim who was shot while sitting in his home. Christian Garzon attended an RPD news conference today. He joins us now live. Christian, what did police have to say?
Well, Adam, when it comes to this spike in violence, Police Chief Cynthia Harriet Sullivan says this behavior is unacceptable, especially when it comes to that 11-year-old boy who was shot on his couch watching TV. To combat these crimes, they are ramping up efforts, but details are still somewhat limited.
We have had a bit of a weekend this past weekend.
Police Chief Cynthia Harriet Sullivan says 5 shootings are still under active investigation, but she says there are a lot of details they cannot go into right now.
I think it goes without saying that this sort of violence is and will continue to be unacceptable.
Sullivan saying they're working with the Crime Analysis Center to help solve these instances. They are also teaming up with the DA's office to monitor repeat gun offenders.
Whatever we need to do to get at why things are happening the way they are, why the continuous flow of guns out there.
As News 8 has reported, a lot of recent violence has been centered around young people. There was no direct comment on that today, but she did talk about getting at the root of the problem.
What we also want to do is look at what follow-up services we can if there's something that's impacting their situation. We want to do the wraparound piece. We alone as a police department are not the answer.
During the press conference, another shooting occurred on Hudson Avenue, and the meeting had to be cut short. Sullivan says they are going to do everything they can to ensure they have a major impact at ending this behavior on the streets.
I think anytime anyone's shot, I mean, these are people that someone cares about, somebody loves.